Hey everyone. Hurricane Fiona is doing a lot of damage here off the northeast US seacoast. I've put the place marker here in Windy. Today, Saturday, the 24th of September, there are some extremely high winds gusting above 100 knots just where this place marker is. What's happening after this system ravages the northeastern US toward Greenland? And so if I move the place marker onto the southern Greenland ice sheet, today we have very high precipitation rates from a related weather system. There's a atmospheric river drawing moisture straight onto Greenland. Gusting 20 knots. You can see temperatures at this position on ice are above the melting point, and actually forecasting for the coming days through Monday, temperatures just on the southern tip of the ice sheet, 5 Celsius with strong onshore flow. So that will do some melting. It's going to dump rain. This model, ECMWF, it's a very good model, is projecting some convective precipitation. So it's a very energetic system. And so the current conditions that you see here on the graphic, it's a separate weather system. And this Monday, Tuesday is the Fiona system. And we can look at that as we animate this going forward. So in between at this position, we've got a lull, and freezing temperatures, the boundary of the blue and green is the melting point. So you can see at this point, but now let's look at the Fiona effect. And the melting conditions extend up onto the ice sheet. So let's go to this boundary here where you can see Monday, the peak heat flow from Fiona is bringing melt conditions almost 2,000 meters on the southern ice sheet. That's impressive. Okay, the heat is affecting the southwestern ice sheet. The melt boundary is up to 1,900 meters. You have melt conditions, and kind of a normal nighttime conditions would be, say, minus 10 or even colder at this position. So here's the Fiona remnant cyclonic circulation. It's moving up into Davis Strait here, driving heat. This was yesterday, and a colleague of mine, Robert Fausto, said it's going to rain like hell on the southern ice sheet. And you can see these red colors indicate 20 plus millimeters per 3 hours. That is definitely a high rain rate. And this is what it looked like yesterday. A few hours later, we could hear from Dr. Simon Lee here, who was looking at the precipitable water, the moisture content vertically integrated through the atmosphere. Here's Fiona. And shortly after, he writes, this combination of large, intense tropical cyclone interacting with poleward-oriented jet will deliver extreme or record warm, moist air to Greenland this weekend. This unusual warmth is an aspect of atmospheric river setups, which is sometimes overlooked. So this was an atmospheric river. The red colors indicate very moist atmosphere. And on the 14th of August, 2021, this atmospheric river impacts the ice sheet. You can see the red colors, they rapidly turn to blue colors because of the moisture dumping onto the ice sheet. It was the rainfall that got our attention first, but as we studied this and published it in June, what we learned from this is, yes, there was rainfall, but it was actually the heat effect that was more impactful than the rain. The rain delivers some heat, but it's not an extreme amount of heat from the rain directly. It's the heat from the air that does a lot more melting. And in this case, after the system blew away, the surface was melting for another week because of the darkening effect of the heat and the rain. Simon Lee continues here with some nice graphics showing unusual warmth out of this system. And he plots the 700 HPA. That's again, kind of elevated in the atmosphere. You can see Fiona. This is yesterday's forecast. Fiona's still here. There is melting temperatures well up into the atmosphere impacting Greenland. The wind barbs show a strong flow. Tyson Miller adds in 16 hours ago. That's quite the moisture train headed for Greenland. And he shows really large wind vectors, again, transporting heat. And I think that must be, integrated water vapor transport. So big moisture flux to Greenland. And just back to the August event last year, you saw a big moisture delivery, but what this illustrates are the temperatures. And here comes the atmospheric river, temperatures well above melting all over the ice sheet. So in this event last August, there was melting at the top of the ice sheet, rainfall witnessed at 3,200 meters above sea level. So this was an intense event. And what we've seen just already this year is two big melt episodes, one in September 3rd, 4th. I was in South Greenland and we found some really crazy looking clouds, and we were walking down the ice sheet. We decided to get off the ice sheet because it was going to be rainy, and it's not fun to be on the ice when it's raining. You cannot stay warm. Michael Strasburger shot some really nice pictures. So here we are. The clouds were ominous. These look like Espiritas clouds, a newly defined cloud type. You can see the clouds, the Espiritus clouds, have this kind of wavy aspect to them. And this is what we woke up to that morning. So it was beginning to rain. There was some intermittent rain, but these ominous clouds, we knew that this big system was coming. So we hastened our way off the ice. We intended to stay one more night, but we were walking this way and we intended to camp here, and instead we just kept on walking down to a boat pickup. The ice, by the way, has fully retreated out of this in the last 10 years. It looks like the big action from Fiona is going to be on Monday around 10 to 13 hours local time. Well, okay, this actually has the peak temperatures at this position Sunday evening, 5 Celsius. Now let's zoom in. Warm air temperatures looks like melting all the way up to South Dome on the ice sheet. Convective precipitation forecast. This is Sunday night. So the ECMWF model has peak rain. Look at that, convective precipitation. There's little lightning symbols here. So I'll move the place marker there. You can see that this model is forecasting thunder showers on the edge of the southern Greenland ice sheet. I haven't seen a forecast that has convective precipitation at least so much, and the forecast for thunder shower conditions on the southern Greenland ice sheet, that is a first. This also suggests thunder showers at Pamute. So this is a really intense weather system. Let's zoom out a bit. So this would be the Fiona remnant. This is Sunday night at 6 o'clock. So this is about 30 hours from now. Localized high precipitation. This is a bow echo, hydraulic jump, barrier wind acceleration in southwest Greenland. Really intense. Let's go back to the wind. We have winds of 30 knots and plus 5 Celsius at something like 1,500 meters elevation on the ice sheet. This is really intense. And let's see. Wow, this expands north. Melting conditions at 2,600 meters on the southern ice sheet. Melting conditions at, this would be about South Dome. Here you can see melting conditions at 2,850 meters. So Fiona is really interacting with Greenland. It's delivering a lot of heat and moisture. this is an extreme event.